Beloved soul, pause for a moment and feel the stillness. This silence is not empty, it is divine. The universe is shifting, and in this sacred breath, heaven leans in to whisper truths meant only for your ears. You've carried burdens in silence for far too long, masking the cracks with smiles and carrying hope like fragile glass. But the time of hiding is over. This is your divine unveiling, the sacred moment where God says, I saw you even in the shadows. You are not overlooked, you are chosen. This is not just a message, it is an awakening. Archangel Michael has been standing guard over your weary soul, whispering courage while you sleep. His wings have covered you in moments when fear tried to drown your spirit. And now, he speaks, not with thunder but with assurance. Rise, beloved. Your season of silence is over. The light is coming not from outside but from within. That glow returning to your spirit is the fire heaven lit in you from the very beginning. You thought it had dimmed, but embers still burn in secret places. Today, they ignite. You are not starting over, you are stepping into the truth of who you already are. Breathe in. Heaven is near. You've questioned why the pain lingered so long. You've asked why doors closed just when you thought breakthrough was near. But God delays nothing without purpose. Each closed door was a redirection away from harm you could not see. You are not forgotten, you are being refined. Like gold in fire, your value was never diminished, only revealed. Jesus has walked every lonely step with you. In that silent room, he sat beside you. In that broken moment, he held your shaking hands. You were never alone. And now, he calls your name, not in rebuke, but with love, my child, come forth from the ashes. This is your resurrection hour. The ground you thought was a grave is now holy soil. You are being lifted, not just emotionally, but spiritually, into a higher place. Trust that the shaking was necessary to release what no longer belonged. The cracks in your heart allowed light to enter. The delay was protection, not punishment. It was the Father saying, you are too precious to be rushed. Now you are ready, not for anything ordinary, but for the extraordinary. God does not waste pain, he transforms it. And now, he's transforming you. There were nights you cried yourself to sleep, wondering if your life mattered to anyone at all. But listen carefully, your breath is proof of divine intention. Every beat of your heart echoes the rhythm of eternity. You are not here by accident, your existence is a decree from the throne of heaven. The voices that told you otherwise were lies formed in fear and insecurity, not truth. God's voice over you has always been stronger, even if it's been drowned out. Today, you will hear it again. Jesus says, I knit you together in your mother's womb, and I make no mistakes. The world may have mislabeled you, but heaven has not. Archangel Michael, still watching over your journey, whispers, you've survived what was meant to bury you. Now walk in the strength of that survival. What others saw as weakness was the birthplace of sacred resilience. You may have bent, but you never broke. And now heaven is orchestrating a turnaround so breathtaking, it will silence every doubt you've ever had. You are not waiting for your worth to appear, you are discovering what was always within you. The veil is lifting, truth is emerging, you are more than you know. You've heard of miracles from others, but always wondered if they were reserved for someone more holy, more strong, more deserving. But hear this now, you are the miracle. Your healing, your restoration, your future, they are not maybes, they are wills. Heaven does not negotiate your value, it declares it. God does not call you by your past, he calls you by your purpose. Even in your mess, Jesus chose the cross knowing you by name. Not because you were perfect, but because you were worth redeeming. His blood wasn't shed for saints, it was spilled for sons and daughters who felt unworthy of love. And now, love returns to remind you, you are mine. Heaven is not waiting for you to perform, it's waiting for you to receive. Archangel Michael has shielded you from unseen battles, but today his message is clear, you are no longer under attack, you are under release. The chains of old identities are breaking. This season marks a shift from survival to overflow. The blessings you once only prayed for will now become your daily portion. You will walk with confidence, not because of ego, but because of divine design. The heavens are open. Remember that moment you almost gave up? The heaviness was unbearable. You whispered, God, I can't do this anymore. And yet, you're still here. That is not weakness, that is divine perseverance. Every breath since then has been sacred. Heaven has counted your sighs like prayers. God never ignored your tears, he stored them. Psalm 56:8 says, you have kept count of my tossings, put my tears in your bottle. Imagine that, every sleepless night, every cry into the pillow, bottled in heaven, never discarded. Your cries weren't in vain. They are about to become rivers of restoration. The floodgates are opening, not to drown you, but to baptize you in peace. This is your revival. The fire that once threatened to consume you will now be the very light that guides you. Jesus doesn't shame your low points. He transforms them into launch pads. What was once weakness is now a testimony. You won't just recover, you will rise. You won't just survive, you will shine. Archangel Michael speaks once more, now is your time. All the delays, all the detours, all the detachment. It was leading to this sacred rebirth. Your next chapter isn't just coming, it's already unfolding. There's something sacred about brokenness, because it's where your mask falls and God's face is revealed. When you were strong, you prayed out of discipline. But when you were broken, you prayed out of desperation. And that's where heaven leaned in. Jesus never loved the perfect. He loved the willing. He touched lepers. He dined with the outcast. And today he leans in close to the brokenhearted. You. Psalm 3:4-18 reminds us, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit." That's not a metaphor, that's a promise. You're not too far. You're right where grace begins. Let this paragraph be your reminder. Your brokenness does not disqualify you. It draws God closer. You haven't lost your chance. You haven't ruined your purpose. You haven't missed your moment. Heaven's timing is never late, and your heart is still the altar where miracles are made. The ashes of your past are becoming oil for your future. Archangel Michael has seen the battles you couldn't name, but his sword has made a way through. What once paralyzed you will soon propel you. This season is not punishment, it's preparation. And the promise still stands. You've been walking around with wounds hidden behind strength. People see your composure, but heaven sees your cries.
God is not looking for polished prayers, he's looking for honest hearts.
And your heart, even in its fractured state, is precious. You've whispered, "Will this ever get better?" And Jesus responds today, "Yes, my child. I am the author of healing, not just physical healing, but soul healing, the kind that makes you sleep peacefully again, laugh genuinely again, trust courageously again, the kind of healing that comes not in a rush but in layers of grace." Archangel Michael reminds you now, the storm didn't destroy you, it uncovered you, it removed what you were never meant to carry. And now God is placing in your hands new peace, new direction, new joy. Do not fear what's ahead just because of what's behind. The future will not repeat the past. The voices that told you to settle, to shrink, to survive, they're being silenced by heaven's roar over your destiny. You will dream again. You will dance again. You will rise. Not by might nor by power, but by his. Look around. Not with your natural eyes, but with your spiritual ones. Can you sense the shift? The pressure you feel is not failure, it's birth. The old is dying, yes. But what's being born is holy. You are being transformed in silence, so you can shine in the open. God often hides his greatest treasures in the darkest caves. You are that treasure. And now the light is coming in. This new chapter is not based on your efforts, but on his eternal plan. You've been crying for clarity, but heaven has been preparing capacity. You're not just receiving answers, you're becoming someone who can carry the answer. Jesus hasn't been absent, he's been anchoring you. While you were praying for escape, he was building endurance. While you begged for quick solutions, he was planting deep roots. Archangel Michael nods silently in approval, because what is coming next requires strength you didn't know you had. Your voice will no longer tremble. Your spirit will no longer. You are ready, not because of perfection, but because of surrender. And heaven responds to surrender like a magnet to. There's a divine conspiracy happening in your favor. The delays, the denials, the doors that slammed, they were all rerouting you toward destiny. Some of the people who left weren't rejecting you, they were making room for the right ones. God has not been subtracting, he's been aligning. And soon, what felt like loss will be seen as pruning. You've grown too big for your old containers. This next level requires a new mindset, a healed heart, and unshakable vision. Jesus is not just walking with you, he's walking ahead, preparing the way. You don't have to chase opportunity. Opportunity is about to recognize your name. What was once hard will now come with grace. What was once painful will now become peaceful. What was once impossible is becoming inevitable. Archangel Michael's sword has cleared your path. No weapon formed against you will prosper, not because of your strength, but because of your protection. The gates that held you back are the labels placed on you are being peeled off. You're not who they said you were, you're who he says you are. And he calls you worthy, chosen, unstoppable. Take this next breath slowly, let it anchor you. You are not who you were a year ago, or even yesterday. Your spirit has expanded. Your wisdom has deepened. The battle made you brave. The waiting made you wise. The suffering softened you without stealing your strength. This is transformation, the kind only God can do. Jesus isn't just healing you, he's evolving you. The blessing that's coming is not just a reward, it's a reflection of your growth. Heaven doesn't forget seeds planted in faith. God remembers every yes you gave when no one was watching, every act of kindness, every silent obedience. Archangel Michael has recorded it all. You are not laboring in vain. The promotion, the healing, the restoration, it's on the calendar of heaven, and it's coming faster than you think. Stay open. Stay faithful. The fulfillment of God's promise will not be delayed. His timing is exact, His ways are perfect, and His love is relentless. You are seen. You are sacred. You are. This is your season of divine reversal. Where there was sorrow, there will be songs. Where there was pain, there will be peace. Where there was silence, there will be songs of testimony. Don't rush the process. God is doing something too beautiful to be hurried. The masterpiece takes time, and you, beloved, are His masterpiece. Jesus is reshaping the story. What others saw as ruin, He sees as the foundation of glory. You are not starting from scratch, you're starting from strength. Archangel Michael stands over your household now. He declares over your name, the curses are breaking, the blessings are overtaking. You will no longer be identified by your struggle, but by your strength. Your story will inspire. Your scars will speak of grace. This is more than a recovery. It is a resurrection. Walk with your head high. The King of Kings has declared your victory, and nothing can stop the word He has spoken over your life. Breathe in deeply. This is not the end, it's the beginning. You are stepping into sacred territory. The season of survival is over. Now comes the season of strategy, stability, and supernatural strength. Let the past fall like dust. You don't need it anymore. What lies ahead is greater. The heavens are in motion. The universe is aligning in your favor. God is restoring what was stolen. Jesus is mending what was broken. Archangel Michael stands at your gate, sword drawn, declaring, nothing unholy may enter this new season. Walk with grace, speak with fire, dream with courage, and love without fear. You are a light in a dim world, a voice in a noisy culture, a healing hand in a wounded land. Your time is now, your moment is here, your name is being called by heaven. Answer boldly, child of God, for your divine story is just getting started. There is a shift taking place within your spirit, though you may not fully perceive it yet. The aching weight you've carried so long is beginning to dissolve, not because your external situation has changed overnight, but because the hand of the Lord is touching the deepest part of your soul. Where anxiety once dwelled, a stillness is growing. Where pain once echoed, peace is being planted. This is not just recovery, this is resurrection. Jesus never promised that we would not weep, but He did promise to wipe every tear from our eyes. You are not broken beyond repair, you are being rebuilt with sacred intention. Every time your heart whispered, I can't do this anymore, heaven leaned in closer. Your cries were never ignored, they were sown like seeds in the soil of eternity. Now the first sprout of hope is pushing through. Breathe, rest. Do not resist the healing simply because it feels unfamiliar. This is the goodness of God. Quiet, steady, unrelenting. You are not walking into another storm, you are walking out of one. The Lord is setting a table before you, not in the absence of enemies, but in their presence. The same people who watched you break will watch you long. There were nights when sleep would not come, and mornings when you questioned the point of rising. But here you are, reading these words with breath still in your lungs and purpose still pulsing in your veins. That is not coincidence, that is covenant. When the world moved on, Jesus stayed. When your heart shut down to survive, He waited patiently for the moment it would open again. And now, slowly, you are feeling the warmth return, like sunlight after winter, like the sound of a familiar voice after silence. You are beginning to feel again, hope again, believe again. And that is sacred. Do not rush this moment. Let grace meet you where you are. You don't have to be completely okay to be completely loved. You don't need every answer to walk forward. You only need one truth. Jesus is still with you. He still calls you His own. And there is no distance, emotional, mental, or spiritual, that can separate you from His love. That's not just comfort. That's the foundation of you. You may be asking, but what if I fail again? What if I open my heart and it gets hurt once more? The Lord responds with gentle clarity, you are not walking this path alone anymore. You've tried carrying your wounds in silence, tried fixing everything yourself, and yet here you are, still carrying the burden. My child, it's time to let me carry you. Let me strengthen what is weak. Let me fill what is empty. You do not have to perform for my love. You were never called to be perfect, only present. I delight not in your perfection, but in your surrender. Come to me messy, and I will wash you clean. Come to me confused, and I will give you clarity. Your doubts do not offend me. Your fear does not disqualify you. I am not like them. I will not walk away. I will not use your weakness against you. I will cradle your soul in the very places others broke it. You were never too much for me. You were never a mistake. You were never beyond. Let me remind you of something eternal. I wrote your story before the world began. I saw every page, every triumph, every tear, every silence, every scream. And still I chose you. I anointed you. I destined you for something far greater than what this pain tried to convince you. Do not let sorrow write the final chapter when I am still speaking resurrection. The enemy tried to mute your voice with shame. He tried to bury your confidence beneath rejection. But I am uncovering you now. I am removing the dust of past seasons and revealing the treasure that was always inside. You do not need to explain your pain to everyone. You don't need them to validate your calling. Your worth does not depend on who stayed, who saw, or who said yes. Your worth was decided at the cross, sealed in blood, and it cannot be undone. Stand tall, not because you are confident in yourself, but because you are confident. Even now there are angels dispatched around you. You cannot see them, but they surround your dwelling. They war over your home. They guard your nights. And among them, Archangel Michael stands watch. He has drawn his sword not in anger, but in divine justice. He is pushing back the forces of darkness that have tormented your mind, your family, your peace. He does not waver. He does not sleep. He does not retreat. He defends you as a child of the highest. He is assigned to you by heaven's command, not because you are weak, but because you are valuable. If you could see the battles you've already won simply by surviving, you would never doubt your strength again. Archangel Michael says this: you were never forgotten in the battle. I have fought over your name in the heavenlies. I have covered you in moments when death sought to take you. And I will continue to guard your promise until it comes to how far you've already come. The mountain you think you're still climbing, look back, you've already conquered most of it. The version of you from last year would not recognize the strength you carry now. It's easy to discount your own progress when you're still bleeding, still longing, still healing. But healing is not always loud. Sometimes it's the quiet return of laughter, the sudden ability to sleep again, the soft peace that replaces anxiety. These are miracles too, and Jesus is at the center of them. He has walked through every valley with you, not above it but beside you. He felt the cold air of your despair. He heard the silence of your unanswered prayers, and he whispered, "Hold on, I'm not done." His promise was never the absence of pain, it was his presence in it. And that presence is your anchor now. The for isn't delayed, it's being prepared, and so are you. Your heart had to break in order to expand. Your voice had to go quiet in order to learn the language of heaven. You had to be hidden so that when you are revealed, it's not for attention, it's for assignment. You are not being punished, you are being positioned. Do not compare your timeline to others. What God is doing in you is deeper than quick success. It is eternal transformation. The reward is not just in what you will receive, but in who you are becoming. You are being shaped into someone who can carry glory without pride, love without fear, speak truth without anger. Let the process finish its work. The gold is revealed not in easy fires but in fierce ones. And beloved, you are gold. There's someone watching this who has been sitting in a pit of despair for far too long. You've told yourself that healing is for others, that joy is for the lucky, that peace is unreachable. But today Jesus reaches into that pit with hands scarred by love and says, "Get up, it's not over." The pit is not your home, the shame is not your name, the past is not your prison. You are still worthy of joy, still worthy of new beginnings, still capable of being loved in full. No matter what others spoke over you, my word remains, you are fearfully and wonderfully made, and I still have plans for you. Plans to prosper you, not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. Let today be the day you stop rehearsing your pain and start declaring your promise. You're not too late, you're right on time. You may feel tired, but you are not defeated. Fatigue is not failure. Jesus himself rested. He withdrew to lonely places, not to escape his mission, but to renew his strength. So take a breath. Take a break, but don't give up. You are carrying something holy, something weighty, and it's okay if your arms need a moment. Lay it down at his feet. Let him hold what you cannot. Rest is not laziness, it's worship. It's surrender. And when you rise again, you will feel lighter, more focused, more aligned. There is a difference between quitting and resting. You are not quitting, you are recharging. And heaven rejoices over your yes, even your trembling, fragile, unsure yes. Because a heart that still says yes in the face of pain is a heart heaven can trust, so say yes again. to healing, to joy, to calling. Say yes even when you don't understand the next step. Say yes even when you're afraid. God is not asking for your perfection, only your permission. And once you give him that, he will do exceedingly abundantly above all you could ask or imagine. You haven't missed your moment. You haven't lost your way. You are still on the path. You are still chosen. And your story is still unfolding in the hands of the author who never failed. As we come to the closing of this sacred moment, let your soul rest in the truth of who you are and whose you are. You were never an accident, never forgotten, never too broken to be made whole again. In this divine hour, the heavens declare your worth louder than your wounds. Lord Jesus has not only walked beside you, he has walked ahead of you, preparing the way where there once was none. The thorns you stepped on have not gone unnoticed. The tears you shed have not been wasted. They have become rivers that carve new paths for your breakthrough. You are not defined by the chapter you're leaving behind, but by the promise you're stepping into. Let peace return to your spirit like a soft rain that falls on dry ground. Let your heart remember what it feels like to hope again. Every breath you take now is proof that heaven hasn't given up on you, so don't give up on yourself. The storm may have shaken you, but it did not destroy you. You are emerging refined, radiant, ready. What the used to bury you, God is now using to bloom you. Lift your eyes. The dawn is here. Archangel Michael still stands watch, even now as these words come to a close. Though his name was spoken only a few times, his presence has been with you all throughout, silently fighting the battles you didn't even know were raging. He will continue to guard what God has spoken over you. And Jesus, your Savior, has not just given you comfort, he has given you identity. You are not lost, not less, not unworthy. You are loved, you are chosen, you are carried. Let the truth spoken today settle deep in your bones. You are allowed to live without fear. You are allowed to step forward even if you still feel the sting of yesterday. You are allowed to trust again, even if your heart trembles. Your yes to God, however small, is a weapon. And your praise, no matter how weak it feels, still shakes the kingdom of darkness. So walk forward now, not with perfection, but with faith. Faith that what God started, he will finish. That the hand that held you in your darkest night is the same hand writing your brightest future. You are not walking into the unknown. You are walking into destiny of light. Let your heart lift with these final faithful words. You are covered. You are surrounded. You are supported by something greater than your circumstances. By a love that cannot fail. By a Savior who cannot lie. By a kingdom that cannot be shaken. May the peace of God chase you down in the days to come. May joy return like a long-lost friend. May healing rise like the sun, slow but unstoppable. Remember this: even in silence, heaven is working. Even in delay, heaven is orchestrating. The author of your story holds the pen still. So breathe, rest, receive. Because the final word over your life is not sorrow, not struggle, not shame. It is glory. It is grace. It is God. And this is not the end. This is only the beginning. Amen. And so it is.